Today's Mercedes-Benz interview of the day brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Mercedes-Benz has an SUV for you. Visit MBUSA.com for special offers. When it comes to playoff baseball, you can't just rely on the stars. We've been talking about this since the World Series started. The Dodgers have had multiple instances where their role players became stars. We're still waiting for the Yankees stars to be stars. But in the meantime, you had Anthony Volpe breaking the game wide open with that grand slam. Gleyber Torres put the game out of reach with his home run, bottom of the eighth. So you're getting these guys at the bottom of the lineup. And that has been the difference, or the biggest difference with the Dodgers, aside from Freddie Freeman. Surprisingly good starting pitching. Last night was a bullpen game. Now you got to get ready. And as I said yesterday, do not be the guy who's saying, hey, when's the parade? That you're not giving the Yankees a chance. Too good a team. Got a great pitcher on the mound. Maybe there's some momentum. But, you know, John Smoltz knows momentum is that next starter. And that's why Garrett Cole, that's a big advantage over Jack Flaherty. And maybe Aaron Judge found something last night. Let's bring in John Smoltz. John was on the call for Game 4 last night. John, thanks for joining us. Let's start with the Mookie Betts play. You've been around baseball a long time. You ever seen anything that comes close to that?
No, that was as bad as it gets. I mean, you know, sometimes you lose your mind when space and awareness, and I think that gentleman lost his whole. He believed that seat, that sphere was his, and he was going to get that ball no matter what. Luckily, nothing came of it, but you can imagine if you're Mookie Betts, just a sensation of somebody's grabbing not only your glove, but if that wall's higher, he's suspended in the air. So I was pretty confident when I made the statement he's going to be ejected, and he was.
Yeah, but I think he's allowed back tonight. I don't think you're banned for the rest of the World Series or one more game. He can come back to a hero's welcome tonight.
He could come back. We've seen plays that have affected outcomes, obviously famous plays. Tony Tarasco and being the greatest missed call in the history of calls, but at least this one was in foul territory. And at least this one we have replays, so it would have been easily overturned.
And once again, Freddie Freeman homers. How do you explain this, John?
It's really something. I've been doing this a long time. You don't see this switch come on very often. This is not, sometimes when an athlete's hurt, we make, too much of it. This is not making too much of it. This is actually an injury that was severe, that the time off allowed tremendous work to be done, and his timing and the ability to hit with power. I can honestly say the first couple of weeks, nobody expected him to hit a home run because he couldn't hit off his front foot. And now to do what he's doing, it's the reason why Freddie is Freddie.
Sometimes we see a team that hasn't done anything, and then they have the offensive explosion, and then we try to decide, okay, does that mean there's more of that in store tonight? Or maybe that's their one chance to stand up and not, and to avoid a sweep. So what side are you leaning towards tonight?
Well, in a World Series, in a best of seven, it's not like football where the emotion can carry you through a quarter or win a game and you could run through a wall and just ride that emotion. The old adage, your next day's starting pitcher is your momentum, right? They got Garrett Cole. But I said this the other night, and I believe it, that if you can get some jolt of energy from an unexpected source or just your star, you start seeing that energy. Like I hate using the phrase the team is flat. The team's flat because they're not hitting. The team's flat because they're not scoring runs. So you come to the park with a little bounce in your step, but the only reason you continue to play is if you do those little things that they did last night, and they weren't doing it in 3 games leading up to it.
Talking to John Smoltz. John will be on the call tonight as we have Game 5 at Yankee Stadium. I mentioned this yesterday. You got to have those guys at the bottom of the order who do something for you. And that has been the difference for the Dodgers. The Yankees got those contributions. And I go back to, when you guys had Mark Lemke, There's always a guy, you don't expect that guy to be a star. And the Yankees, they're kind of looking for that. Can somebody pitch in here and help us? Do they have a good enough lineup to be able to kind of find that guy on a consistent basis going on?
Well, and that's the key, right? You get a lineup card as a pitcher, you circle certain guys, and you go, unfortunately or fortunately, I'm going to go make this guy beat me. And when this guy beats you, it's a shock to the system a little bit because you've taken care of the big boys, and then all of a sudden, the length of the lineup. That's why the Dodgers are so good. Look, they don't get enough credit because of everything that surrounds the payroll, the roster, expectation. But what the Yankees lacked so far in this series is that depth, that bottom of the lineup. And if they can get that going, the stress of the top of the lineup is there. It's real. The pitchers have to deal with that. So I think the Dodgers have put more resources on bases. And then last night, finally, I think 6 walks, a hit batsman. I mean, that's what the Yankees do when they win baseball games.
And then it was kind of an, oh, by the way, but Judge gets the base hit, RBI. Those are the kind of things. I said he needs to get a bleeder, something that just finds, a soft landing there for a base knock there. What are you seeing that he's doing or not doing at the plate?
Well, yesterday he had a lot of great takes. Most people would say, well, big deal. No, you got to start with a great take. You got to stop swinging at those pitches. And then the pitcher goes, oh, shoot, he's not swinging at it. I got to get closer to the plate or I'm going to walk him. The fact that he got on base 4 times is huge. I mean, this is a narrative that he knows it's sometimes really unfair for the great players to have to do great things all the time. But it's a start. And I think he's a click away. I really do. I said it. He's a click away from really making a ball disappear into the sky, which is what this Yankee crowd's been waiting for.
And what did you see with Otani? He had that one at bat where he kind of flailed at it, didn't look, on top of things, comfortable there.
Well, I say this all the time. If nobody knew Otani had a shoulder injury and he was in the lineup, the Dodgers are better. So he's limited. Look, this is not something that I don't think people realize what he's doing. When you pop your shoulder out, you got inflammation, you got small tears, you got an uncomfortable, you don't run normally holding your collar. I mean, that's just telling you the discomfort he's under. So he's still a threat. He's eliminated, though, the threat of when he gets on base, he's not going to steal. So all these things that go into it, they're still better with him in there as banged up as he is. And yes, he's not completely right because he has to make sure that he trusts what not getting hurt versus being in the lineup to help his team win.
This series go back to L.A.?
I've said the pressure turns when you have to think about the Dodgers don't want to bring the Yankees to L.A. They still have a huge decided advantage. The series, the statistics talk about it. But when you can win a game, you change the narrative a little bit. The narrative is, oh, they got Garrett Cole on the mound. And then, now it may switch to the Dodgers. You have to be so mentally tough to not listen to the noise. And the teams that usually have been there, done that, learn how to do that.
Great to talk to you. Have fun tonight. Thank you again, John.
My pleasure.
John Smoltz, our good buddy, will be on the call tonight, Game 5. Weather should be a little warmer than expected. They're expecting temperatures around 70, mid-70s tomorrow afternoon. But tonight should be a little warmer. But you're curious if you can carry that over if you're the Yankees. And if you're the Dodgers, can you get out in front? Because that's been the key so far. Getting out in front, putting even more pressure on the big three in the Yankees lineup with Soto and Stanton and certainly Aaron Judge.